Hello everybody, and welcome to our next tutorial here on basically how to do a tall cabinet appliance stack. So similar to what you see in this picture right here is what we're kind of look for and try to achieve. And I'll use some various cabinets to show you a few different ways of doing it. Now obviously there's no exact way. You can really mix and match these things, since you can stack cabinets one on top of another. In this case right here we have a base one drawer cabinet, sorry, an appliance case above it, and then another wall appliance case above that, and then a wall two-door cabinet above all three of these. So these things all stack together. They get screwed together from the interior of the cabinet, and what you get is a tall cabinet like this. It's basically four separate cabinets. Now, just imagine the possibilities and the combinations you can do here. So you can do pretty much any combination, because all of our cabinets can stack on top of each other with no problems. So you can really maximize or really get creative as far as your appliance stack is concerned. So the one thing you want to do is just make sure when you put together these cabinets is to just follow the specs. Make sure you get the opening dimensions of each cabinet right. So the opening is the interior opening dimension, the width, height, and then depth. Now they have specs for each one of these appliances, so you don't need a degree in engineering to figure out these things. They make it very simple for everybody to do. So this is a very DIY thing that everybody can do. So let's work through a few examples here. I have a customer that has emailed me. They didn't email me the specs on the appliances, but I'm going to go through this anyway. They emailed me the opening dimensions that are needed. Okay, so first thing we want to do is we're going to have let's see here. We have a few different cabinets we're going to be stacking. We're going to start on the bottom on the base. Okay, so here we go. So what I'm going to do is just delete this. I got a wall drawn here. You can do this on graph paper. You do not need to use cabinet vision. It's not something that's needed. So what I'm going to do here, they have a really tall double oven cabinet. So you have something like like a Sub-Zero or a Thermador cabinet. I have a few of these things in here. Let me take a look and see if I can find one for you to show you what I'm looking at. So designer appliances, I'm going to throw in a built-in oven, electric oven, 30-inch wide, double oven. So real big, real tall, double oven. Now these things can get really tall, so you're going to need a tall cabinet to house these things. Plus that cabinet's going to need to be really strong. Fortunately, all of our cabinets are extremely strong. You don't have to reinforce them with 2x4s or anything like that, like you would with like a particle board style cabinet. Our cabinets will hold more than you can throw at them. This thing's not even nearly enough. But we do have some cabinets made specifically for this this application. So what I'm going to do is throw one in here, and I got a tall cabinet. I'm going to do a dual oven tall cabinet. Now this customer is looking at an appliance case with a opening height of 49.5, and then the actual width of the opening needs to be about 28.75. So when looking at this appliance case dual cabinet, this is one I just added recently. What we have here is we got two decks up top. So basically, I'm sorry, two tops. There's two 3/4 inch thick tops, and then as well we have two individual decks down below for extra support. That is more than enough that will support that stuff for you. So if you want to take a look for that cabinet, just scroll down here and we'll find it here. So what are we at? So go to base cabinets and then go to appliance. See if we can't find this guy. There it is. So it's a 0-door double wall oven cabinet with double thick deck and top. So we're going to open that one up, take a look at it. As you can see here from this picture, we have an opening height, which is dictated by the formula down here. Opening height is equal to the cabinet height less 7 inches, so minus 7 inches. If you order like a cabinet, say 60 inches tall, well, the opening height's going to be 53 inches tall. So it's pretty easy to figure out from your specs what they need. So this customer is asking for a opening height of 49.5. So let's just add 7 inches to that. So 49.5 plus 7 is going to be 56.5. So that's the height of our cabinet. Now you can probably expand this a little bit too, but since we're in 1/4 inch increments, we can build a 56.5 inch tall cabinet. That is no problem. I'm going to delete this guy here. So 56.5 inches tall, no problem. It's exactly what the manufacturer wants. That's what we're going to give them. So the width, moving on to that, they need 28.75. So we are going to do 28.75 plus 1.5. And the reason I did 28.75 plus 1.5 is the sides of our cabinets are 3/4 of an inch thick on each side. So 28.75, add 3/4 to the left side, add 3/4 to the right side. That's the total width of the cabinet. Let's take a look at that here. Formula for you right there, opening width. Opening width equals cabinet width minus 1.5 inches. Okay? So that's pretty much it for the height and the width. Depth of the interior depth needs to be 23.5. Now, looking at this cabinet, we got nailers on the back here. These nailers right here are going to keep that cabinet square and keep it from, from flexing back and forth. I mean, even if you took the nailers off, it'd probably be fine, but the nailers are good because you need to screw it to the wall somehow, and that's what the nailers are for. Those nailers take up about 3/4 of an inch. Now, if I'm looking at it from the back side here, I'll draw you a little diagram. From the face back to the face of that nailer right there, we got 23 3/4, and this is obviously for a cabinet that's 24 inches deep. You're going to be looking at it and be like, okay, well, I should probably do a 24-inch deep cabinet because my base cabinets are 24 inches deep. Don't do that. Do a 26-inch deep pantry cabinet, and the reason for that is, let's just say we have a pantry cabinet like this. We want our base cabinets to be 24 inches deep. We want them to run into the face of this side here. So when we have a finished-in panel on this tall cabinet, and then you have a countertop running into it, that countertop is going to overhang by about 1 inch off the face, forward or proud from the face of the base cabinet. And if that thing is holding off 1 inch and you got your tall cabinet and your base cabinets next to it at the same depth, you're going to have a little nub of countertop that's sticking out. And I think that doesn't look right personally. Now, not to say you can't order it like that. You can. That's completely fine. I've seen people do it over and over again. Even when we were doing a lot of custom, like high-end custom work, they would even spec that out on kitchens. But I think it personally looks better to do a 26-inch depth. But also, one of the reasons why you have to do a 26-inch depth here is because the appliance manufacturer is calling for 23.5 minimum, absolute minimum. So you're going to have to do that. So the interior depth here, if I do a 26-inch deep cabinet, measure that out for you, 25.25. So that'll be more than enough. And I just stick with that 26-inch deep tall cabinet standard. I like that one. Okay, so that's pretty much our tall cabinet there. Now there's other ways to do this cabinet right here. So this is the first part of the puzzle. So we're going to stack cabinets on top of that, and we'll get to that here in just a second. You can use appliance cases. For example, you can go through and go to the website, go to wall cabinets, hit up appliance cases right here. We have a whole bunch of different appliance cases. You can do like an appliance case with wide rails. Now the height here might be too small. We usually only go up to 48. Well, this one actually allows you to go up even higher than that. So technically you can go all the way up, to whatever you want. This one's opening height is dictated a little differently. Opening height is the cabinet height minus 5 inches. So if we needed a 49.5 inch tall, we need 54.5 inches for the height. So you can use this appliance case. Now the only reason I'd say not to use a 54.5 inch tall appliance case is because there's no toe kick on it. Now that might be fine if you're planning on building your own toe kicks. That's completely normal. But in this case, sometimes it's nice to have that built-in toe kick right there. Because that appliance case is not really designed to go down to the ground. This is really designed to sit on top of another cabinet. Okay? So keep that in mind. If you do order them with an appliance case, just make sure you have something underneath, because when that double oven, when that lower part of the oven opens up, it's hard for me to show you on this thing, when that lower oven door opens, there's going to be a certain amount of clearance from the bottom of the ground to the bottom of the oven itself, the double oven unit. That's just so the handle doesn't rub on the floor. Obviously, stuff doesn't get stuck underneath there. You don't crush your little pet dog when you're opening it and cooking in the future. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I would use this one. I just added this one on the website because we had a lot of requests for a double oven tall cabinet. So without further ado, here it is. So that's that one. Let's go into the next portion of it. He's asking for double oven, top of this cabinet, appliance case, wide size. Okay, so we're looking for a microwave cabinet. So then he's going to have this microwave opening. It's going to be a little smaller than the opening for this. So with this tall cabinet, with this tall cabinet stack, and he wants to put this microwave up above it, sometimes microwave openings are not as wide as the one below it. And we have a perfect example for how that can be solved. It's this one right here, the wall appliance case with wide stiles. Now this one's nice because it'll allow you to do that transition, but maintain the cabinet width from one to another. So let's just pull one out there. We know what the width is. Everything's gonna be dictated off this base cabinet right now. So let's open up a wall cabinet. Let's do a wall appliance case with wide rails. If we can find it. I'm sorry, wide styles. Make sure you spec out the right one. All right, let me get this thing all centered up. 87 and 1/8. You won't need to do any of this on site. I'm going to lower it by 20.5. And the width is going to be 30 1/4. There we go. Great. Depth is going to be the same as the base cabinet down here. So if you're looking down on the top of it, we don't want our wall cabinet, our wall appliance case cabinet to be, the wrong depth. So what we're going to do is we're going to make that depth 26. Okay, so we got the depth at 26. So basically what we're going to do is make it the same depth and width as the lower tall cabinet. So what we're looking for here, let me change that back here. I'm going to just set this one down. There we go. We're looking for here same depth, same height, and we're going to stack it right on top of that. So the customer's still asking for, let's see, appliance case for the wide styles for the microwave. The width needs to be 30.25. Height is 18.25, depth is 26. So the clear opening dimension for the microwave really needs to be at 20. It needs to be between 24 3/4 and 25 inches. And what needs to happen here is these styles need to increase. So we can actually adjust with this wide style cabinet. One of the nice things about it, you can actually look at it and say, look, the opening width, you can actually tell us what it needs to be. So this customer needs it at 24.75. So obviously, you're going to dial that in. So now the opening width is going to be 24.75 from style to style. And we're going to adjust these rails manually so that they're the right width of that, and that's just fine. Okay, so moving on. Next thing to do here is look at, let's see, the opening height. They said the opening height needs to be between 16.75 and 17 max. We're at 18.25 is what they're asking for. That's what they've requested. So they're at 16 3/4 basically. So that's fine. So basically what we want to do is if you need, let's just say that they're asking for an opening height of 16 to 17 inches. Just go with 17 inches, a little extra height in there, even 1/4 of an inch. It'll still go a long way. So I would probably make this cabinet 17 inches plus the deck and the top. And again, you can look at this formula right here. The opening height is 1.5 inches different. So if they're calling for a 17-inch opening height, let me draw that in for you. Then I would order 18.5 inches for the height of this microwave cabinet. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So we have 18.5 inches for the height. We have a width of the same as this base, as the lower cabinet here, 30 1/4. Depth is going to be 26 inches. So that's more than enough depth for that microwave cabinet. That's no problem at all. Now, the next part of it, the next part of the puzzle is going to be using the wall cabinet. And we're going up to 96 inches tall. So I'm going to adjust my soffits in my room real quick. Don't need to worry about this. This is just more of a computer error program. So, wall cabinet. Let's go here. Get a 2-door wall cabinet. I'm going to put it right up on top. And I'm going to center it right over that one. And I'm going to make the wall cabinet the same width, 30 1/4. I messed up the center line. Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to make the wall cabinet the same width as the ones below, the same depth, which is going to be 26. And it's basically just going to eat up the rest of the height here. So it's actually going to eat up the rest of the height from the top of this this microwave cabinet to the height that the customer had spec'd out. He said that the cabinet height from the floor to the top of the cabinets needs to be 96 inches. Now keep in mind that if you have crown molding, let's just say your ceiling height is actually 96 inches from the floor to ceiling, from finished floor to finished ceiling where you're installing the cabinets. If you're at 96 inches, do not order your cabinets exactly 96 inches tall. As we all know, ceilings can have waves in them. They can be off just a little bit. In this case, this would be fine as long as you have some air up above it. and this is not the top of the ceiling. If you are going to the ceiling here though, decrease your cabinets by 4 inches and leave 4 inches above the cabinets of just air, absolutely nothing above the cabinets. Now you can trim this out up top here. Let me just get you a little thing here. You can put crown molding up here, which would be kind of cool, and basically that would be trimmed out and go to the ceiling. So you'd actually have your crown molding going up to the ceiling, and that can be seen in the millwork catalog. Go over to crown molding here, and we have a video right there on crown molding millwork as well. But anyway, you'd use one of these cabinets, the Portland 2-piece crown or the Shaker 2-piece crown molding. They include the backer piece, and then this piece of crown molding will float up and down on the face as the ceiling, could have contours or problems with it. Okay, so that's it. So what we did right there is we kind of separated this thing into 3 separate projects. We got this one right here, real simple. Just figured out the base one, and then we worked our way up. We did our microwave opening. That's no problem. That was an appliance case, and then we went up and we did the wall 2-door cabinet, and we also left 4 inches above the cabinet to the bottom of the ceiling for crown molding or millwork. You might be doing flat crown molding, and then again you could probably go a little bit lower than that if you wanted to, but I usually recommend 4 inches of space. Okay, so a little bonus around here. Let's put some finished in panels on this thing, and then put some crown molding around the top, and we'll see what happens. So let's go back to our plan view. I'm going to go and add a finished in panel, a couple tall finished in panels. Now you can do it 2 different ways here with our tall finished in panels. You can do a slab, and the slab would be ordered at 26.625, or you can order the the depth of from the back of the end panel to the face of the end panel can be ordered at 26.625. You'd order it the same height as your cabinets, so in this case it would be 92. You don't order it going all the way to the ceiling. Again, it's just like a cabinet. Or you can order it at with the depth of 26 inches even. Now, the reason why we have 2 different standards here that you can order from, we recommend either ordering 26 inches even or 26 and 5/8. Now, this one over here is 26 and 5/8. Notice how the face of the end panel is going to stick out, and it's going to be a little closer to where the face of the door is, and that creates just a more flush appearance because you're covering the view that your eye can see, to the back side of the door. Now, in this one, you could do it either way. With this appliance case stack, you can do it at 26 and 5/8 if you're, so long as your oven and your microwave, have some sort of a trim kit on it. That'd be fine. Another option would be to order it at 26 inches even, right, like this. That way, all this stuff's gonna be on the same plane, as far as all your stiles and rails and basically all the pieces going together. So in this case, you have a lot of different layers of material going on here. Personally, I like to order it at 26 and 5/8, but you can do whatever you want. I think it looks better even when you have an appliance in here. Typically, the appliance, for example, your dual oven, is going to overlap the face here just a little bit. And with this end panel sticking out, it breaks up the lines. You don't want too many seams right next to each other. Almost all of these seams that you see right here. Let me see if I can get a better picture for that. That's not the greatest picture, but it'll do. Almost all of these seams, which that's terrible. Sorry about that. Let's try this. Nice little preview. Yeah, kind of. Okay, so basically, there is some seams here where the cabinet parts come together, floor to ceiling, or going up this part. So there's actually 3 separate pieces of plywood being held together right here. Your oven, the dual oven, is actually going to overlap this. Most likely to overlap maybe 1 inch to 1.5 inches, maybe even less than that. It could go 3/4 of an inch. But the idea is that it doesn't draw the eye because something's going to be overlapping that. So don't let that deter you from your appliance stack. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Also, make sure another option you can do here, just a little bonus for you. Under here, you can order this as a flush toe kick. Right now, it's being shown as a recessed toe kick, so it actually goes back 3 inches. And that's fine. That's completely normal. Another option too is to order your finished in panels up by 4 inches of 4 inches. So I'm going to raise the elevation. So I'd actually decrease the height of my finished in panels by 4 inches. And then the idea here is that you could actually wrap the face of the toe kick and then go back into the wall So you could actually use a toe skin right here and then go back into the wall. And then that creates a continuous toe kick around these cabinets. And that's very common. In fact, that's probably 60 to 70% would do this, where they'd actually hold these end panels or order them short. So in this case, since I held it down 4 inches at the top, and I'm going to hold it down 4 inches here, I actually am be ordering this end panel at 88 inches tall rather than the full 92 from the floor to the top of the cabinets. And then what you do is just wrap the face with the toe kick and then around the side. And that'll get a nice continuous toe kick look. Other options is to order the toe kick flush. So this toe kick would actually have no recess. That's another option with our cabinet line. We are custom, so we can build it however you want. And in that case, you just want to drop this down to the floor and order it at the 92-inch height. Okay, so that's probably more than anybody needed to know. We kind of went off on a few tangents there. Some different ideas here. All right, give me 1 second, and I will add some appliances in here and give you some nice perspective views. Okay, so it's rendering right now. What I did was I just changed the end panel height, just knocked them up a little bit. I just want to show you here, toe kick or toe skin around the face and the sides. So 2 end panels on the left and the right side. Once you get that, once you get your oven installed into this opening, it's going to cover up most of the face of what's going on here, and it'll create a nice flush appearance once you have, from the end panel, face of the end panel to the face of the oven. Same thing with your microwave. You just kind of pull it out proud a little bit, and then everything looks nice and flush, and you're good to go. Any questions? Feel free to give us a call or email. We'll always be here. Thanks again. Have a good day.